And from the back of the room, the question was, I'm not going to comment on that, other than to say, seriously, that's all I'm going to say about that. A couple of comments was left as to what kind of day I had, and it was another one of those, if you had been in my head, you would have had a good day. And I have been vexed. Well, I don't think that's a word for it. I've had some calls recently from some childhood pals, best friends, but in amongst those calls, and I think the whole group of us, I'm sure that the whole complete group, the 3 calls I got and the other outstanding one, and I think there was another person or 2 involved in this caper. It involved a sack of potatoes. And not to name no names, because it was several years ago, and memory it's a little vague on just how it went down. We had been to the movies, closest movie to our house, and when we come out the movie, it's like midnight or so, going to the car, parked in a city-used parking lot for the local grocery store, a large establishment for us. On this, and they would have a sale, and whatever was the item of the year, like say they'd have pumpkins, around Thanksgiving, and they'd have watermelons in July, and cantaloupes and stuff like that, and sometimes they'd have hay out there, they'd have flowers, and they had potatoes. So, Lord, you know what? It's just things that you have to do to grow up. But the thinking of us group of young teenage boys was, we could steal a sack of them potatoes. That was the product for the sale come Saturday, and or Monday, whatever day the newspaper came out, and they had laid in like hundreds of bags of potatoes, like 80 pounds or so. I mean, it was big bags, big old burlaps, and our thinking was that we could steal one of them bags of taters and take them and give them to some. Actually, we were just going to get them. No afterthought about it. But after we once had them, then we had to decide what to do with them. But the project was that the store was closed, but there was a cleanup guy in there, and he would go down one aisle with the brush, and then he'd come back up here sweeping the floor. The dude was. So when he would go that way, it would be some period of time before he came back up to the window here. So we had him timed. I call it the potato caper. The potato caper. If time has not expired on this, just come haul me in. I'm guilty of this. What the deal was when the dude went that way, one of us would go, or a couple would go down by the potatoes and heave up one sack there was a bridge that intersected this store right here. It was a very high embankment right there, and we was parked on the other side. So we would come down the creek bank. I'm not going to say which one. Let's just say when you are down at the bottom of that bridge looking up, and someone has holding over a 80-pound, I'm pretty sure it was 80 pounds, sack of potatoes, and when they holler down, are you ready, you say yeah, and they let go of that bag of potatoes, and you try to catch that right in your chest, right about, and you know that burlap coming past your chin. Oh, it's not good. And it'll take you all the way to your knees, I'm telling you it will. But anyways, we pulled it off with precision. We got the potatoes, got them in the car, and away we went. And the best of my recollection, and we had a converse about this not long ago, a very good friend made the call, and we talked about this, and I'm pretty sure that my memory is correct, that we took those potatoes, we had decided on it on our way home, to give them to who we considered the poorest person in town. It had nothing. And just the community took care of the family. So I'm pretty sure that we drove up there and set them potatoes on that porch and knocked on the door and, drove away. Made no contact. It was a good thing. It was a bad thing. It was a bad thing turned into a good thing. And, we were just teenagers at the time. Oh, memories. Oh, and I will tell you something too, that it is possible that you actually can set your tripod 2 legs on the little bitty thing that looks like octopus. One tripod is up on the middle of the keyboard right there where them arrows goes this way right here. Okay, you put one leg right there and the other 2 legs up here in the front right there, and you can position your camera direct in front of you wherever you're at by turning it on a swivel head. And the way this one works, it has a notch in the back of it right there. And if you got that notch over to the side and you want to tilt it back, you can't do it. So, on the get-go, you just wills to line that notch up and be done with it. That way you can tilt your camera back and forth. I'm just a tip, throw it in there. If you need it, write it down. If you don't, just pass on. Leave a comment. Oh, and the question was, the start of this whole episode, the question was what kind of day I've had. And, most of the time it's a Jumanji world I live in, but not as of late. It's been a Don Quixote world. Today I went out there to the workshop to do something. It's kind of cold. I decided not to, but I got some tarps that's hung up right there around the side of that building, and 2 of them down the front, and it makes a good rain breaker. But I had them nailed up there, and wind has won the battle, and they were flapping. And I envisioned it equal as to, and you ought to watch it. If you've not seen it, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're ignorant to the fact, and you can correct it by watching the movie. It's Don Quixote. I'll probably watch it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can do it. A good movie. John Lithgow, whatever his name is. I never could say that last name right there. I just can't do it. So he's a good actor. I recommend it highly. Just watch it, educate yourself, and it'd be time well spent. It's been my world for the last couple of days, is this Don Quixote world. When I went out there at the workshop, it was like I was going out there and did battle with them flapping wind things, And then there was a matter of all of that stuff that I drug out the other day. At some point in time, when you drag all that stuff out from them little cubby holes in there, and them boxes and drawers, and oh, we got some boxes we're going to go through that will be a trip and a half. Whew, man, something to look forward to. And the projects that we got going, I'm trying to keep all of those in, segregated in the box so I don't lose them. And once I do get a shop built, then I can proceed with that. But a small world we live in. A coincidence today that one subscriber on this channel right here, if y'all still with this right here, call it what you want to. If you're still here, leave a comment, thumbs up or something. I thank you for that. I don't know what it means. You know what I mean? It's just, and I thank y'all, the subscribers and stuff. I really don't. I don't know why it came up on me now to do penance. I do think everybody watches these videos, and I think that it's the viewer interaction that drives the person's channels. Whatever that was, I think I kind of said it quite well. But it's been a Don Quixote kind of week, let's say. Oh, I did battle with the pots and pans in there the other night. When you get the pan you want's down on the bottom right there, and you're trying to get out, and all your other pan handles are interlocked here, you have to either move all those pans or just manhandle that pan up out of there, and it's not good either way. It's a lot of work involved in it. I don't recommend it for anyone.